Hi, so I'm Brandis Guerin again from Neosho High School, and this was my unit over westward expansion and the Oregon Trail that I did for this Canvas course. So hopefully this comes across okay. So this is my homepage that my kids would see, and we would be right here on Unit 5. And then once they open that, it would take them to the module for westward expansion. So this is how I usually lay out my modules. At the top, I have resources that they can access during the unit. So this is actually a map. So when we talk about or we do different activities, they have a map of all the trails that went west. I also include links to the PowerPoint or slideshow that I show them that have video embedded clips and everything that I would do in class, so that if a student is absent or they get behind, they have access to the same information, especially during, this year during quarantining when we have so many kids in and out, that they're receiving the same pictures and videos and instructional content that all the other classes are. Then there are two different note pages, two different templates that I would give them in class to do. However, I do have a virtual class. And then once again, if I have kids that are quarantining, one would be basically for paper notes and one would be online notes. But that would be at the top of my unit. And as I scroll down, you can see I have assignments for the unit. Basically, the assignment that I came up with was digitizing their own version of the Oregon Trail. And so they could do that multiple ways. This first page, the Oregon Trail Adventure Quest, really shows them what is required. So basically it lays out for them what they're going to do and their requirements. And it looks something like this. It's very basic. Obviously, if I had more time and more weeks, I would go back in and revamp it. But I talked about, so one of their options was Metaverse. Here's a sample one that I created, and so they can scan the QR code. Our kids are one-to-one, and their Chromebooks will scan, or they can use their own phone device, whatever they have. I embedded the link for them to start building their quest, and then I kind of gave them a guideline for planning. So what landmarks are they going to pick? What are they going to have in there? So this is kind of a planning guide for them, and I included a checkoff list for them, things that their presentation should have, and then I just created really quick a rough rubric. Obviously, if I had more time, before next year, can go back and edit. But I was building and planning mentally very quickly for the last couple weeks. So then once they have kind of nailed down what they're going to do, I have included for them this form. It says Metaverse Quest Scan form. So what they're going to do is include their QR code, their Metaverse code here, and then a list of the group members' names, and then we would go on our quest around the school. I would hang these up around the school, and then they could travel around individually during, COVID, or in groups, and view the different students' presentations. But I've given them the link of how I want it laid out, and all they have to do is then submit and turn that in, and I can print them out, or we can have them digitally arranged. So then to go back, I've also included, because our science teacher we had been brainstorming a way to cross-curricular teach this unit. It also aligns with their disease study and how diseases spread. And so here is a link to an activity that when they click on it, it's going to be a disease investigation that they get a science and history grade 4, and it goes over what they need to do. It is also basically fill in the blank, and then it tells them. But we thought that would be kind of neat to do a cross-curricular activity between science and history. A lot of times you see a lot of history and English and not as much, science mingling with other things sometimes. Below, they're still kids. And so I've included two activities. Our westward expansion unit, even though my unit is mainly over the Oregon Trail, we actually do touch on the Gold Rush as well. And so I have included for them this Gold Rush digital breakout that my students like to do, where they have to go through the clues and they enter codes and do things of that nature. And so also the Oregon Trail game, just if they have everything completed, or maybe we do it as a competition to see who dies of dysentery first, but online, this is actually just a link to playing the Oregon Trail game online, like the old school you died of dysentery game. And the kids, even in 2021, really, really like the old school game, and they laugh about the horrible graphics, but they still think it's good. And kids are still kids. So after they've done all the work, then I would open this up for them and they could have game time. And then, of course, at the bottom, I always put the assessments for the unit. I did not create a pre-test yet for this unit since it was just a sample module. But of course, in our school district, we do a pre-test and then obviously their summative assessment at the end. And we do usually call them quizzes where I'm at instead of just, summative assessments. But it's less mentally draining, I suppose, to see a quiz versus an assessment. You do you, whatever. So this would be my unit. Overall, obviously, some things are now just in digital version rather than paper version. Especially, I think we've seen with a lot of online learning, sometimes that's just necessary. I do like my overall assignment that I have been working on for this unit about taking this Oregon Trail adventure that they're going on and making it into something that's digital that they can share not only with their classmates, but with the public as well. And I think that hopefully, maybe that's it. Thank you.